everybody, and welcome back to another smooth episode of RetroGameFix.com's Retro Jones podcast. This is your host, Mitch, and this is my man, Mike.
And you know what they say on the jack-off hour. It ain't no fun if your homies can't have none.
We're the 1% of video game podcasts. 1% of something.
This is DJ Easy Dick.
Not very smooth, my man.
This is your smooth Yaz hour.
Oh, by the way, this is episode 108.
Oh, what's up, my friend?
Not much, man. Just, actually a lot, but there's a lot going on. What's up with you?
I have a pile of stories this week. Like a pile of stories. It's been a great week. It's actually a shitty week. It's actually a shitty week at work. I have no idea how that's going to go, but it's been I know I say that a lot.
Another one of those.
Well, yeah, but this one...
I don't really want to come back on Monday.
No, well, I'm not having one of those. I had a weird Friday, so we'll see how Monday goes. But
what?
I didn't even lose my shit on this one. I just got just some weird, awkward, very ambiguous news from my boss, and I'm like, some of the things that you promised me here over the next year aren't really happening. And so we'll see how that goes. Well, no, not really. No, it's actually the exact opposite of dope. But
I had to troll you there.
I'll figure it out tomorrow. We'll see. Oh man, let me pull up the Skype list. Actually, let me do this. People probably want to know how to contact us. I think people have figured it out by now. But if you go to twitter.com/RetroGameFix, there is sometimes, there's an outrage going on 100% of the time, 60% of the time. No, I'm an angry person, so when I'm outraged, even over the smallest of things, it's usually pretty legitimate. So you can go to twitter.com.
Yeah, I can vouch for you.
Yeah. You can go to Twitter.
Anybody that's listened to the last 107 episodes can vouch for you.
Yeah. Go to twitter.com/RetroGameFix. Otherwise, youtube.com/RetroGameFix. Facebook.com/RetroGameFix. Otherwise, 678-995-5103. Again, 678-995-5103. Or questions at RetroGameFix.com.
Do we ever check those emails?
I do check the emails.
Okay.
Yeah, I check the emails. We get emails every now and then. Actually, we do get quite a few emails, but I never forward them along, and then we don't read them. But you should email. Continue to email us.
And call. One of these days, we will also check the voicemail.
I did check the voicemail as well.
Okay.
And we do have a Sega Master System voicemail, but let's get to that next week, because I didn't forward that over either.
Okay.
Because I'm an asshole, and I'm full of outrage. But man, we got a lot. You got your pinball stuff going on with the playfield. It's weird. I've got a pile of stories that happened this week.
Where do you want to start?
Yeah, fuck, I don't know. Let's start with the Costco story because it's fucking hilarious.
All right.
So here's the thing. So I had 3 Switches pre-ordered.
Right.
And then the Walmart one I canceled. But the other day, I think it must have been early Thursday or early Friday morning. I went to bed early the night really early the night before, 8 o'clock, because I just was like, I don't want to be up anymore. I'm going to go to bed. And so I woke up early, having the CPAP now, I get good sleep. So then I only sleep for 7 hours, really, if I really get a good night's sleep. So I woke up, it's 4 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to get up. Yep. So I grab my phone and I go to where I always go when I grab my phone when I wake up, and that's Slick Deals.
Slick Deals?
Slick Dizzles. So anyway, at 4 in the morning...
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, so anyway, at 4 in the morning, I get on the son of a bitch, and I see a link to Costco to pre-order another Switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's available. I should probably pre-order it. And I don't have a Costco membership.
So first of all, before you even, why would you need another Switch? I'm just curious.
I don't, but it was there.
Okay.
And they're hard to find on pre-order now. So I was like, well, if it's up, I should probably, order another one. So yeah, I mean, totally. It's logic. So
it totally makes sense.
So I go to Costco and the page is up, and like I said, I don't have a membership. So all of a sudden, like, you need to be a member to buy this product.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I fucking do? I become a member for $55, and I go through the whole thing, get the membership, check out, wait for my email, get my membership number, and go back to the Nintendo Switch page, which is still up. I'm like, this is fantastic.
You got it.
Yeah, and I don't even know why I care, because I still have 2 on the way. I don't know why I'm so...
Which still cracks me up.
I don't know why I'm so excited about this, but I am. So by this time, it's about 4:30 in the morning. And I go to add to cart, and it's like, quantity is not available. What the fuck what the fuck do you mean the quantity's not available?
I wonder if the quantity was ever available before you got a Costco membership. I wonder if it's still up.
No, it's not. I checked.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't get the thing. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. So it's early now. So anyway, I stay up. I make myself some breakfast. I take a shower. I chill out, everything else. So all of a sudden, the baby wakes up. Carrie gets up. And now it's about 6:30. And I hear Carrie get up, and I have this whole situation in the back of my head. Like, I just got a Costco membership. So she's going to the bathroom, and I kind of swing into the bathroom, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's like, trying to pee? It's not exactly how it went, but close enough. And I'm like, so what, do you think, now granted, like, get this, she just woke up. Now, I've been up for a couple hours already. And I'm like, you think we should get a Costco membership? She's like, I just woke up. I'm like,
right.
Okay, cool. I mean, you think we should get one? I don't know if we'd really ever use it. Why? Mm. And I'm like, because I got us a Costco membership. She's like, when? I'm like, about an hour ago? And he's kind of like, why did you do that? And I'm like, well, the Nintendo Switch was up for pre-order on Costco.com.
She should have like, duh.
And yeah, and she's kind of looking at me and it's like, didn't you just cancel one of your pre-orders? And I'm like, well, that was different. Like, I'm just like, yeah.
I'm like, why? You're like, why do you have to be paying attention and shit?
Like, why do you have why do you got to be bringing up old shit? So then I'm like,
right.
But it was available, so I was going to order another one. And she's like, but you just canceled the one. I'm like, uh-huh. She's like, but you still have you still have one coming. I'm like, well, I still have 2 coming. She's like, so why did you need the Costco membership? And I'm like, to order another Switch. And like, and it was going nowhere. So I have an accidental Costco membership now. And I could go cancel it, but that would require me to go into the store and explain, like, I want to cancel my membership. And they'll be like, why? And I'll be like, I went through this with my girlfriend while she was on the toilet. I don't have the energy.
Well, all you gotta just tell them is like I tried to pre-order a Nintendo Switch, and then you guys ran out right when I signed up for membership. So like that totally makes sense. I don't think that would be embarrassing at all. I'd be like, you guys suck.
Well, no,
That's why
I'll keep it. Like you mentioned, it's great for like tires and things like that. So I'll keep the membership. But yeah, that happened at like 4 a.m. the other day.
Well, I would wait until at least like 6 to make bad judgment calls.
Yeah, I should stop going to I should stop going to bed early.
Yeah, sleep is good though. You should just sleep in.
Yeah, it felt great. Well, it was one of those nights too where both dogs were in the bed, and then we had to move Violet to the bed because she moved her to the bed so she would sleep so we could sleep. And I woke up and I had like the baby on one side of me, a dog in the middle of my legs, and a dog on the other side of me. So I was like,
it's just like cluttered with living things.
Yeah, and then it's like, we got a king-size bed. So I look over on like the other 7/8 of the bed, and Carrie's like laying on the bed sideways with all the room in the world.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I'm on the fucking side of it, just fucking,
laying across the bed sideways.
I'm sitting
like taking up.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like slivered, trying not to put my legs together so I don't choke one of the dogs. Yeah. Anyway.
My son does the exact same thing as far as taking up all the bed that he can possibly take up in his small little body. Yeah, so if he were like, I don't know how, like 2.5 feet tall maybe or something at this point. If he were like 10 feet tall, he would still sleep sideways across the bed.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Yeah,
I'm always like, if I have to lay in the bed with him, I'm not getting any sleep because he just sprawls.
Yeah, man, kids got it good. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, that's my Costco story. I have a pile of other stories that happened this week. I will sprinkle them. I'll sprinkle them throughout the show.
Sprinkle them.
Sprinkles.
Sprankles. It's my favorite donuts. I'm like, give me some sprankles on them donuts.
So anyway, but I do want to highlight this. We will be getting into some quality Nintendo Switch conversation later in the podcast. What's funny? Apparently, I didn't actually know this about stuff, Mitch. Did you know if you walked over to things that are freestanding and you push on them, they will actually tip over?
I've never heard of that before.
It's crazy. I didn't actually realize it either, but it's bananas. Anyway, you got into some pinballs. What's going on?
What, by the way, was there like some context behind that?
Yeah, I sent you that video about people talking about the Nintendo Switch kickstand.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry. I'm slow, apparently. I'm 1% of brain capacity. Yes, I have been working on, of course, last week, last podcast, it was the day after I went and got the taxi, drove all around the state of Georgia to pick this thing up in some hair-raising areas of Georgia as well, perilous. And anyway, so I finally got into this thing. And as far as the playfield goes, like, look, the playfield is shot.
So explain what you're doing to this thing again first, because you're going to restore it, but there's a special project on this one.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm getting there, actually. That's exactly what I'm
going.
So the playfield on this thing, like, is shot. And when I mean shot, like, it's gotten some moisture. It's not like puffed up or anything. I don't even know if, like, I guess maple or whatever it is would puff if you got water on it. It probably would. It would plank, I think. But anyway, so it's gotten enough humidity, I guess, because it's been in a non-temperature it had been in a non-temperature controlled warehouse for I don't know how long. So a lot of the paint is like flaking up, So I got it, and definitely have before pictures, and it looks like shit. But, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, can I find a repro playfield? No, they don't exist anymore for sale. Nobody has them for sale unless I'm willing to pay like $2,000 or something, which I'm not going to do. And so I'm left with no choice but to just restore the playfield. And I've never done this before. And it's always been one of those things as like I've been restoring machines for God knows how many years now, where I've been like, that's the one thing I don't feel like I could do. So there's this guy, Vid, on Pinside that I referenced last week that has this awesome guide on like, just amazing guide on like restoring playfields. So he's like, this is what the professionals do, blah, blah, blah. Here's what they use, this and that. So anyway, I got everything that I needed to do it, and I just kind of jumped in. Because the thing with this is, I can't just throw the playfield away because then I don't have a pinball. Then the pinball's useless. So I'm kind of have no choice on this thing, but it's okay. Like I want to do it anyway. So anyways, the paint from all this humidity is kind of flaking off in a lot of areas. So I had to get like a magic eraser and some isopropyl alcohol and like just tear the stuff off. Basically take all the loose crap off that's going to fly off anyways. There's no saving that part. And so it looked twice as bad as when I got it, which it looked pretty shitty when I got the playfield. So I've been in the process this week, I guess the last couple of days of trying to restore this thing. And I got to say, I got to pat myself on the back. I'm pretty impressed with what I've been able to do at this point. I mean, it's a massive, massive amount of work, but I'll send you some pictures when I actually have some pictures to send to you, and we'll post them on the Twitter of kind of some befores and how terrible, just awful it looked at the beginning and kind of how it's shaping up. But I think you'll be pretty impressed. I think because I've gotten the like the airbrush and the whole setup and stuff like that, and it's working out. I'm impressed with what I'm able to do here, and I don't intend. It's just one of those things where it's like it takes time, and you have to be willing to not rush anything, and just dedicate the amount of time that needs to be done or that you need to for this particular thing. So it's an adventure, and I think I'm doing an all right job, and I know I'm doing an all right job. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait to see. I'm doing the top half of the playfield first because there's just so much detail and it's just so massive that it's crazy. But, like you'll be able to see in these pictures, like all the white parts, the parts that are supposed to be white are like yellow, like dark yellow. So I can't wait to get all the white in there and all the black lines, fine black lines and all that crap. I think it's going to be pretty striking. To say the least. So I can totally do this, by the way. I'm 100% convinced I can do this at this point. I was a little skeptical at first, but yeah, that's really what my entire week has consisted of for the most part. Every spare second I have, I've been in the garage, and every night, basically when everybody else goes to sleep, I'm like staying up late, like doing this thing. So it's another one of those things like when I did the Pinbot playfield swap, it just took me like a massive amount of time. And this is going to probably take me longer than that because I'm not just touching up spots. I'm like doing the entire thing. Like the entire playfield is being completely repainted. So it's insane. But again, this is my first project, and yeah, there are a couple things that I'm like, my next one I'll probably do that a little different. But despite all that, it looks awesome. I mean, I think you'd be impressed for sure. So that's it.
Can't wait to see it.
That's the big one. It's one of those cool things that like I always read these threads on Pinside of these people like their restoration blogs and stuff, and I just hate blogging, and I hate posting video, like not videos, but like pictures and stuff. It's just, I don't know. So it would be something that I would be really interested in seeing, but like, I don't know if I'm just too lazy or what. So I don't know. I guess I'm busy restoring a playfield. So anyway,
that'll take up a little bit of time.
Takes up all my time, really. Any free time that I have, I'm always down there. So that's it. But yeah, I'll give you some pictures when I have something to show. I do have stuff to show right now. I just am like, there's so many parts in it that still look like shit on the top part that I still haven't gotten to those colors or whatever that, I don't know. Unless you see it in person right now, there's really not as much to see.
Admit it. Here's the deal. You got video games to talk about, my friend.
Yeah, let's get into that.
So, did you check out that Retroblox system?
No, I did not.
All right, well, let me explain this thing to you. We didn't hit this last week, but this kind of piles into... God, I'm still reeling on the fact that I cannot wait for the hate tweets that we get after that one.
Oh, dude, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, so anyway, God, I hope nobody at work listens. I'll probably get fired for sure tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be an even worse day than you thought.
Maybe I'll wait and publish this thing on like Tuesday morning. So this Retroblox thing is essentially this like, it's like a plug and play kit. Go to the website real quick and it's right there. Essentially, it's this plug and play kit where the base unit is essentially a CD unit, and they want to manufacture.
Wait, I'm like I'm on Retroblox, but it's like an Android game.
No. Here, so I'll explain it while I send it over. Essentially, it's a Retroblox.com, dude. Blox.com.
Oh, okay, all right. I spelt it. I spelt it the retro way. BLOCKS.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you got to get with it, man. The kids are using X's in place.
And
of
I said
CK.
spelt like back in the day when I was like 6.
Yeah, that's deal. Retroblox.
All right, yeah, I'm there.
It's essentially this. It's essentially so you get the base unit, which doesn't have the top part of it where you see like the Nintendo NES plugs.
Mm-hmm.
And you can that unit snaps.
Oh, those are NES plugs.
Yeah, so that's our logo.
Sideways.
And so essentially that part will slide on and off, and you could potentially put like an NES or a Sega one in it or a SNES one in it.
Mm-hmm.
And on and so on and so forth. Again, though, with all these systems, and this thing actually looks really, really, really cool.
It looks really high end.
It does.
Sure.
It looks super, super cool. But I'm just like, the only thing you're keeping is the cart. And again, I'm just like, I mean, if this thing actually plays the cart and doesn't do like the Retron and
like
emulate it and just kind of verify the game based on the cart, like, I guess that's really cool. But like for me, I'm just like, well, if the only thing left is the cart, the controllers, I guess for this, that's cool that I can use the original controllers. I'm still just back to like, I'll just emulate it. Like like all of these things, I'm just like, it's a whole hell of a lot easier to emulate it. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I'd rather still get like a Mega Drive and use an original, like an original.
Did you just say Mega Drive?
Or fucking.
Are you what country are you? No. What country did you grow up in?
The Mega things, flash cards.
Are you talking? Okay.
What are those? You got one.
The what?
The
EverDrive.
EverDrive. Yeah. I'd rather get an EverDrive.
I was like, dude, you had a Genesis growing up.
I'd rather get
what the fuck?
I'd rather get an EverDrive and use it in the original system with emulation than just plug a cart than the opposite way around where nothing is original except the cartridge. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy at all. I mean, yeah, like at first glance, it's like, whoa, that's awesome. And then I'm like, why wouldn't I just go buy a Genesis? Or like, not necessarily, well, yeah, Genesis are like $15 or something, but like, because I see Altered Beast in that one, but like, or a PlayStation. I mean, I'm sure you could get one of those for like $20 too.
Well, like, the one thing is certainly not everybody is like us where they want 10, 15 systems hooked up, and it's super difficult to find power strips that allow for the use of these old AC adapters. But
yeah,
I mean, like if you can just have one that you hook up, I guess that's awesome. But then you got to buy these extra things that you slide into it, and I'm just kind of like, I'd just rather RetroPie it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's better in theory, I think, than it actually is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm with you on that. I think I'd rather. I don't mind. I don't know. There's no high horse that I'm on, and there's no high horse that you're on, or anything like that. But like, I don't know. I don't see. I don't. It's not for me.
Yeah, I'm with you
personally.
So there's a Retroblox. There's not a ton of information. I think it was supposed to be. They announced pricing somewhere, and it didn't sound like it was actually super expensive. And then they said that the extension boxes were supposed to be around $60 or $70 a piece. But then then, I'm like, okay, well, Sega Genesis is $15. You want to charge me $60 or $70 to be able to plug my? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, a lot of these a lot of retro consoles, and I guess the NES has gone up in price a lot, and the Master System is up. I mean, there are some consoles, but like the ones that are plentiful, like PlayStation 1, of which they show on here, and like the like the Sega Genesis and stuff like that, man, you can get one of those for so cheap. Like, I don't know. I hear you as far as it's a cool concept, but I don't know.
I just feel like it's the same people that like were super excited for the NES Classic, and I've said this before. I wanted the NES Classic. I got the NES Classic. I love the NES Classic, but I also said this: I'm never gonna play the NES Classic. A, because it was impractical. B, because I have a real classic NES. And C, it just like you do it once and you're like, cool, that's it, I'm done. I know quite a few people that have NES Classics, and it was exactly that. They used it once and then they stopped using it. And like for this thing, it's obviously targeted at the video game collector, the video game enthusiast, but like, you know, is it really? Because as a retro gaming enthusiast, like I'm not going to buy this thing.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm not. I just like, maybe I'm too big of a traditionalist, and maybe I'm missing the point. I'm sure some people will tell us who it's for, but every time people came at us and tried to tell us who something like this is for, we're always like, oh, we get it. It's still stupid. At least I said that. It's not stupid. It's super cool. And if people want one thing, I get it. It's not for me. It's just not for me.
Yeah, it's not. I agree with you. I don't see me ever going for this. It looks good though. They did a nice job on the design. It looks it does not look cheap. It looks nice, and I mean they did a good job on the design and stuff like that. And you know, more power to them. I don't know. I mean, some people may want a game that way, and that's cool. But you know, like we said, not really us. I don't really totally see a point for it, but you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
Whatever. Go for it, guys.
Mm.
Free plug. Retroblox.com.
Hey, no, it is actually really cool. So like if you are looking for something that's a step up from what appears to be like the Retron or something like that, where it is actually really, really cool looking, it's just not what I'm looking for, but I would certainly go check it out. It says that they're going to be going to crowdfunding at some point in 2017, so keep your eyes open, follow them on Twitter. I don't have a stake in it. I don't really care, but a lot of people have been talking about it. It's certainly a cool idea. Just like everything else, it's not something that I'm looking to do. So,
right on.
The good news is it's not an Atari Jaguar shell.
Yeah, with the
Coleco Chameleon was
with the mini Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the new mini Super Nintendo plug. So anyway, Let's hit on this story that we didn't talk about last week, and it's a couple weeks old here, but
okay.
Valve is changing their requirements to get a game on the store. And it sounds like, so last year, in 2016, Valve had something like 4,000 plus games submitted and published on their store.
Mm-hmm.
That was more in 1 year than the previous 5 years.
So you're talking about like the Steam. I'm sorry. I was thinking,
Steam. Yeah,
Valve
Steam.
VR.
Yeah, Valve
right.
Steam. Yeah, Steam. Yep. Okay. So on Steam, yeah, they had more games published last year than like the previous 5 years or more or longer, or maybe even since Steam was really picked up Steam.
Nice.
No, it was not nice. I promise I'm very against jokes like that. So.
You're very against jokes like that.
Like, yeah, ever since the Switch came out, I'm like, fucking don't do it. We're going to switch topics. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, so there was conversation about, hey, you know what? We're going to get rid of Steam Greenlight, which was a way for, like, fans to vote for games that should move to the store, and there's ways to get around it and things like that. And they came out and said, hey, you know what? You're going to pay to get into the store, and the price is going to be anywhere from $200 to $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of podcasts. I always call it other podcasts, but there was a lot of conversation around, well, if you're going to stifle, you know, these great little small indie developers that maybe there's one person that doesn't have the money to get their game on Steam, and it would have been a big hit. And, you know, I'm going to sound like a dick, but Just because
you're gonna sound like a 1%er.
Just because you make a game or make a product doesn't guarantee you space anywhere. Doesn't guarantee you space in Walmart, Target, Steam, nowhere, right? And quite honestly, it got to the point where it was impossible to find games on Steam last year. There was fucking piles and piles and piles and piles of games that was didn't even know where to start. And I guess I'm just of the thought that even if I want it to be more than $5,000, and maybe I sound crazy, but I just feel like at $5,000 that if you make a game and you believe in your game, you're gonna go find $5,000 to take your product to market.
Yeah, it's almost like they're making you make a commitment because they're making a commitment to you, and it's an expensive commitment. But yeah, I mean, if you plan on making more than $5,000, you'll be fine,
right?
know?
And if you don't have the confidence that your game is going to make more than $5,000, sorry, that's not the kind of game me as a consumer wants to find on Steam. Like, I don't want you to trick me into spending money on your game that you don't believe in as a developer. You know.
Well, I gotta say though, I understand both sides of it, and it's got to be frustrating, especially seeing nice some of that Chinese food.
No, I dropped a tube. It was a tube for one of my amps. I was playing with one of my tubes and dropped it.
Dropped something.
Yeah.
But anyways, what was the documentary that we watched about the indie games and stuff like that? Yeah, Indie Game the movie. I mean, God, these people. I mean, they put in a lot of effort and kind of sacrificed a lot to get these games done and stuff. And an extra $5,000 might be crippling to them as far as that goes. I mean, there's that, but then you got to probably. I guess you could say,
is it though? Like, I just.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. You know, I really don't know. I'm not a programmer. I never made a video game before, so I don't know. It depends on the situation. It may be, but then you got to find investors to take possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I see where it's coming from.
I'm trying to play the devil's advocate here.
I understand it. Well, I'll say what I tell. I gotta all right. If you absolutely cannot take on a loan from the bank, I'll throw out a Mr. Wonderful style deal for anybody that believes in their game, and I believe in it. Mr. Wonderful deal, Shark Tank on RetroGameFix.com. If you can't come up with the $5,000, contact me. I'll give you the $5,000, and I want 50% of all revenue until I make my $5,000 back, and after that, I want 10% moving forward. I don't need an equity in the company. All I want is to make my money back and 10% on the game until I make my money back. Low risk for me, and really low risk for the person taking it on. There you go. Mr. Wonderful offer right here on RetroGameFix.com.
Are there any other offers?
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to accept my offer.
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's the thing. And then they got to do Mr. Wonderful deals, and then it's shitty.
Well, Mr. Wonderful deals are shitty, but I'm just saying, I understand why he offers them up. Because they're awesome for Mr. Wonderful.
But that proves proves it, but that strengthens my point where it's man, if these guys are really just struggling to get a good game, like Fez was amazing, dude, and I don't know how I don't remember. I don't remember how he supported himself through that.
I don't either, but I don't feel like I'm giving these people a zero interest loan essentially till I make my money back.
Very generous, but anyway, that's what I'm saying is that if a game like that, if that would have been the difference between it happening and not, that would have sucked. You know, we would have lost some of the innovation on that. So playing the devil's advocate, I don't know.
I suppose.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, again, I see where both sides are coming from as well. Like if they're basically saying, hey, look, last year was a record year for submissions and there was a lot of crap on there and we want to weed out that crap. So here's how we're going to do it, you know? And there should be I don't know, what if they did a prove it thing? Look, we can waive that if if we deem the quality of your game is whatever.
Well, that's what Green Steamlight was supposed to do. I mean, I guess the other thing I'd like to remind everybody of is there are other ways to sell and promote your game online. Like, you don't have to use Steam, right? And I guess I look at it this way. If you're spending $5,000 on Steam, I'd rather spend the $5,000. Let's just say you're a small fish. I'd rather be a small fish in a lake instead of a small fish in an ocean. Pun?
Are we talking about Phil Fish?
Oh, no, but that's actually a good call. No, we're not talking about Phil Fish. I did not do that intentionally. But I'd rather be a small fish in a lake than a small fish in an ocean. And by them saying, hey, it's going to be $5,000, let's just say that in 2017 there's 2,000 submissions instead of 4,000, or 2,000 games on Steam instead of 4,000. And again, the math isn't great here because there's other factors, but you've essentially doubled the likelihood that your game's going to get seen, right? Because there's half as many games on the store. So I feel like you get a little bit of value there, but also, like, nothing's stopping you from selling your game on GOG or Humble Bundle or Indie starting your own web store without giving the middleman any money, right? And then you can sell a third less copies. Like, Steam isn't the be-all, end-all. And
so you're saying that Steam is maybe like a down-the-road option for you after you establish yourself, but like,
right? Go make your $5,000, and then in somewhere else, and then get your ass on Steam if you want. But I don't feel like Steam owes it to anybody to allow you an easy way onto their platform.
Yeah. I hear you.
I mean, that's just where I'm coming from. I'm just like, they don't need to.
I hear the need to weed out crap too. I mean there's a lot of garbage.
4,000 fucking games. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, for 1 year. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I guess you have to wonder about this too. Let me put it this way as well. I was just continuing to be the devil's advocate here. Would we see such amazing games as Genital Jousting?
Well, no, but maybe, I have no idea, but if the guys from Genital Jousting or Bloody Boobs called me up and said, hey, Mike, we need $5,000, I'd just give them the $5,000. They wouldn't even need to pay me back.
Be like, can I have a copy of your game?
I'd be like, what? I'd be like, wait, what's the name of the game again? And they would be like, it's called Genital Jousting. I'm like, well, what do you do in Genital Jousting? I'm listening. Like, here's the thing. It's a dick and some balls and a butthole. You need to swim around and put your dick in between the balls, which has a butthole in it, and that's jousting with genitals.
And whoever gets the biggest past a certain point will like win the entire thing after such and such rounds. How much? I would say that I would not call this an investment. I would call this a purchase because this game sounds like it's worth $5,000 for every copy.
I'll say this. I think it should be kind of a sliding scale. And I know Steam still doesn't want to throw people at it, but Steam is like a $3 billion company. And quite honestly, they're going to do what's good for Steam and don't really give a shit what we think. So, I mean, that's the other part of it. But I can see both sides too. And a lot of times I err on the side of being an ass about it sometimes, but I'm just like, there are, like, again, Steam isn't the be-all, end-all to make video games or publish your video game or get your video game recognized. And I just feel like, it's like, I guess I look at Steam a lot of the way that I look at people that are like, I need to get on American Idol. I need to get on America's Got Talent. I got to get through The Voice. And it's like, well, you can do that, but no one's ever going to take you serious. I'm like, just because you hit Steam doesn't mean you've made it. Right? Like, you still have to look at it as an investment in yourself and as like a go-to-market strategy for your product. And for most products, $5,000 isn't a significant amount of money when you're talking relative to a product launch. Now, is it crippling? Yeah, sure can be. That's why you find people on Shark Tank selling their souls to Mr. Wonderful. But it sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. And if you can't get over that hurdle, you're going to have to find creative ways to get the money or find creative ways to sell your game outside of the Steam platform. And I actually think gaming is going to be better for it. And if Steam decides we don't really care about that, I think it's an opportunity for places like GOG or Humble Bundle or Indie to kind of step up and maybe become a storefront for people that don't have the financial overhead to get onto the Steam platform initially. So that's all.
That's it, and that's all.
That's it, and that's all, man. It's all for decoration.
Awesome. Yeah.
God,
no, good call.
I'm still worried about all the shit I'm gonna get about my impression.
It was funny. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was funny. If you're not
good.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, anyway.
It was good. A lot of my family is Asian, and I thought it was good.
So what's up? What do you think?
I don't know.
You want to talk about some Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, let's. Why not? I mean, we're on how many days? Like 3?
It comes out Friday.
Okay, that's more than 3.
But
5.
But it's less than 6.
Yes.
So
more than 4.
Yeah, exactly 5. Almost.
Are you stoked or what?
I'm super excited, man. Like I am so excited. I am so excited for this. Like there's so many reasons why, right? Like you
haven't been this excited about a new system coming out for God, I don't know how long.
I've been talking to you about this thing every fucking day. It's also the reason I'm also getting like super outraged about fucking ridiculous things on the internet. But
by the way, it's also the reason that you bought a Costco membership at 4 a.m. to try to get another pre-order of a Switch for your third.
In fairness, I thought maybe you would change your mind, and I
appreciate that. I'm just busting your balls.
Yeah. So anyway, no, I am so excited about this thing, and it's funny because I actually do have some criticisms or some concerns that I'll get to in a moment. But if you think about it, I loved my Wii U, but there is something to be said about a Nintendo console that comes out so far that seems to have everybody's interest, right? It seems like everybody's kind of talking about this thing. Even the old people.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, even like the old people at work are like, "Hey, you ordered one of them Switches?"
I ordered 3.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And so it's funny to see that, and it's like that was not happening with the Wii U. And I think that the Wii U people were just kind of tired of the Wii, so I think that was it as well. Outside of the bad messaging, just like fuck, it's enough.
No, it's a bad branding, bad marketing, bad everything.
Bad everything, right? As much
Except
as I
for the system.
Yeah, as much as I liked mine, it was bad everything. But I think the Switch, man, I think Nintendo's come out and I think they've made it really clear what it is. I think they've done a good.
Well, they didn't call it like the Wii 3 or some crap like that,
Right, and people are like, oh, here's the thing. Regardless of how Nintendo's marketing it, a lot of people are like, well, it's a home console or da da da. You know what the Switch is? It's exactly what it is to you, right? For some people, it's primarily going to be an on-the-go console. For some people, it's going to be a home console. For some people, it's going to be both, like myself. But like two things. This thing doesn't look like a kid's toy anymore. I mean, from the GameCube to the Wii to the fucking Wii U. Like, this thing actually looks like a legitimate, like, electronic device that looks like it's worth $300.
Yeah.
Secondly, regardless of the fact that Zelda's coming out on the Wii U, we're getting a new fucking Zelda.
I know.
5 days.
And it looks awesome. It really looks awesome. That was the reason I was like, oh, maybe I should. I have the cash. I don't. I mean, it's too late for that.
5 days. We have a new Zelda.
Yeah, and it looks spectacular. It's like a throwback, like not a throwback, but it's like Wind Waker, which probably is my current favorite Zelda. Like Wind Waker-esque as far as the innovative art style. So I don't know.
5 days.
5 days.
It's gonna be so. Awesome. It's gonna be so awesome.
So are they? Theoretically, they will both the game and the system be at your doorstep on Friday.
On Friday, so the two I have left are through Best Buy, and so they should. I have a gray coming and a neon. Both of them should be at my door with the game. Actually, I think I have the game for store pickup. I'd have to double check.
Well, you'll get one or the other or both.
And I'll get the Wii U game as well. So everything, I will have everything on Friday. So
theoretically, you're going to be calling UPS. It'll be like, what was that? The
Oculus?
The Oculus when that came to your house? That was such a fiasco.
We'll talk. We got to rehash that story on another podcast, but that was funny. Yeah, so come Friday, man, 5 days. I just love new hardware launches, and there's been a lot of criticism about the Switch up to this point. I I understand some of it. I don't understand others. I think the one big...
It seems like this has got to be the most criticized launch of any system and that I've probably ever heard of.
Well,
except, I mean, that is just ticky-tack shit, which undeserved. Like, look, the Xbox One, when that launched, all the criticism was Microsoft's own fault. But I don't understand it either.
So let me get into the one. So I actually have two things that are concerning to me, but they're not deal breakers, right? Because eventually they're going to get worked out, and I have ways to work around both of them. The first one being Virtual Console not ready at launch. Not a huge deal for me personally, because I probably wouldn't have bought much on the Virtual Console right away.
Right.
That said, there are people that would. And secondly, if there's ever a console that Nintendo's made that is made for the Virtual Console and bringing your old Nintendo retro games on the go, it's this one. And so not having that at launch is a little disappointing, because I probably would have impulse bought like at least 5 Virtual Console games just to have them.
Right.
Just to try the feature out. So we're not getting that. That's disappointing, but it is going to be coming. So I guess it is what it is. And then the second, yeah. How do you feel about that? I mean, I know you're kind of a one game guy, but like in a nutshell, it's a little weird that it's not there.
Yeah, I'd be so like, they're gonna, it'll be here before you know it. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit sloppy. I could see that, but like, you're gonna be playing Zelda, dude. The new Zelda. I don't know. Me personally, if I was in on the Switch day one, I would totally have the new Zelda, and I would be playing that thing until I was done with it. You know, and Zeldas are epic. It's not like they're like 4-hour games or anything like that. You know, and I don't know. I wouldn't personally, and I understand the need for other gamers, but like I am such a one game guy. You know, That's just pretty much what I do. I'm like very focused on one game at a time. So I hear you though. They could have done better, you know, as far as that goes. But for me, it wouldn't be a deal breaker. I know it's not a deal breaker for you either.
No, it's not. And then especially since I know it's coming, it's just more of kind of a buzzkill, because it's one of those things where I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the system out of the box. I'm going to get it hooked up. I'm going to be taking pictures of it. I'm going to be tweeting it. I just kind of want to go experience everything. And not having that is kind of disappointing. But like I said, I'm not like then I'm going to turn on Zelda and be like, what Virtual Console?
Right.
So
right. That's what I feel like. That's probably what's going to happen. But you know, I understand. I get it.
And then the second thing, that's a little weird, and I'll have to see how it works in my house. But people have said that over 10 feet, the Joy-Cons can start. And I don't think there's been any real tests with the Pro Controller, but they've said that over 10 feet, the Joy-Cons can start to have connectivity issues, and they are absolutely line of sight when it comes to being functional. That doesn't pose a huge problem for me upstairs, but I wanted the second dock, and I have 2 places I would hook the dock up, either in my closet with my home theater components, or about 15 feet behind where I sit with the rest of my retro systems and modern systems, and I wire them back to the closet. And in no way are those Joy-Cons probably going to work in either of those positions. So I'm a little disappointed that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fully take advantage of that extra dock on my theater screen.
Yeah.
So it's a 1%er problem, obviously, but I just don't know if how that's going to work out.
That sounds like a man-sized predicament.
But yeah, I mean, so that's disappointing though, because there are a lot of people that they sit more than 10 feet from their TV. So
yeah, I get that.
We'll have to see how the connectivity is. We also know that the internet finds ways to fucking make much ado about nothing, don't we?
Yeah.
Don't we know? Yeah. Don't we know about that, Mitch?
Oh well, you know about that with your fake outrage.
ugh. Here's the thing. I went on.
You always know when you always know that you're pissed when you do that. You're like,
It's like, because I never know how to fucking get into it. It's just like, after everything, I feel like Nintendo's done about as well as they can do with this launch. And there's two things people are complaining about. I'm going to start with the kickstand first, because I've seen more about the fucking kickstand than anything. The kickstand looks cheap as hell. I get it. You can pop it off. It can break. People are like, why is it located on the complete right side of the console? You can tip it over. I understand it. I get the fact that Nintendo's also marketed this thing as like, hey, look at us put it on the basketball court and everybody can gather around and play some NBA 2K, blah, 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 blah. I get it. But when I see a video of a guy hitting it with the Joy-Con and then pushing it over and being like, it fucking tipped over when I hit it. But like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? I have shit sitting in front of me right now that I know it's going to tip over if I hit it.
Right.
Like, there are other ways to make your point. Like, I get that this may be a messaging miss of like, hey, put the kickstand up and you can fucking set it on the thing. But in none of the fucking commercials did anybody. No one was hitting the thing in the commercial. No one was like, I'm gonna throw my Joy-Con at it and see if it tips over. Oh, it fucking tipped over. What?
Yeah. I feel like I should just go throw my PlayStation 3 out the window and be like, it fell over.
Like, if my
PlayStation 3 fell over, how cheap is this? Well, it's fucking PlayStation 3, but I could live with that flying out the window.
Yeah. So this one didn't get me. That one, like, I understand some of the concerns there because you don't want your $300 system to break. If it feels cheap, I get it. I just had a problem with the fact that, like, literally in the CNET video, he's like hitting the fucking thing. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So I mean, we'll see how big of a problem that really is. Oh, we will, because I promised Twitter that come Friday, I'm gonna see how easy it is for me to knock down the Switch with the Joy when I hit it with the Joy-Con, and I'm also gonna stand things up throughout my house and see what else I can knock over with the Joy-Con.
Oh, I know you will.
I'm gonna try. I might even tip over a fridge.
I hope you do.
So anyway, so there was that, and then there's the AC adapter controversy, and I went off on Friday night about this, but I've seen this in more places than just the conversation on Friday night. Did you know? Have you ever purchased something and been like, this AC adapter? Fuck the AC. I'm not gonna. The AC adapter? I mean, the AC adapter. Have you ever bought something and just been like, I don't know about this AC adapter?
No, it would never, ever once cross my mind. Ever.
I mean, people are literally complaining about the fact that the AC adapter, if you have the vertical orientated surge protector, might take up 2 spots. Here's a novel fucking idea. They now make surge protectors that have outlets that are orientated in different positions to accommodate for different fucking AC adapters. It's not that difficult. I'm sorry if your surge protector is only a vertical one, but for another $8, you can go buy one that's not only vertical. It's not Nintendo's fault. I'm literally looking down at my surge protector right now. My router has a vertical fucking AC adapter on it. My switch, my networking switch, also a vertical one. I have... Well, outside of my pile of retro games, that's a little bit of a different conversation. My bass amp has a gigantic ass thing. I just never knew this was something people complained about.
Yeah, you were wrong.
And then tried to defend it.
Right.
I've never heard of it. I've just never heard of it.
Yeah, it's just weird. People are like really want to hate this thing. Like give it a chance first. Jesus, what the hell?
The AC adapter, Mitch.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
I don't disagree with you.
I'm exhausted because it was days ago. But like, I just at some point, I just feel like you can't be serious right now. Like, now, granted, these are the same people that got outraged over the vagina in a rated M video game, but didn't get outraged over the cocks that were fucking dangling all over the place. But I've never, ever, ever, ever looked at an AC adapter and been like, well, screw this product.
Yeah, that's lame. That's totally lame. Like, again, people are just trying to find stuff to bitch about, and whatever. Go nuts, guys. If that's what you have to do with your time, do it.
Yeah. So, anyway, I got that off my chest. Now, let's get back to a little bit of positivity here, though. 5 days.
Sweet. 5 days.
I didn't plan. I don't think I can work from home that day. So, unfortunately,
really?
Yeah, I don't. Well, we'll have to see how tomorrow goes at work. I don't think I'm going to be able to work from home Friday. But I am going to be in a mad rush to get back to the house.
Yeah, that's going to suck because you're going to be stuck in traffic for God knows how long.
I'm just sitting there thinking about it too, because I'm just like, I want to get like the unboxing and the looking at it and the like hooking it up and the putting the fucking tiny little game flash card in and like booting it up and seeing the new interface, and hopefully the eShop is there, because I'm going to go to the eShop, and even though I complained about it, I'm going to buy the season pass for Zelda.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy something else. I have no idea what else I'm going to buy, but like I know I'm going to buy something that I completely don't want or need just because I want to try it.
Yep.
I'm so excited for this thing. I'm like going to go places with it on Saturday. And like just
hopefully it's
break it up. Like I'm going to go get a Chipotle, and I'm just going to well, it's not portable.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's not really portable.
Yeah, clearly.
No, but I'm not going to go be one of those jackasses that just goes plays in front of people. But I cannot wait to just get that thing out and play the hell out of it. And, man, Zelda, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I am jealous. I guess I could have probably jumped on board when you had 3 pre-orders, but I can't do it right now.
Zelda, dude.
I've got so much on my plate right now. I mean, I'm telling you, this playfield restoration is going to take me forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, and Zelda would delay that by like 60 hours.
Yeah, I can't quite do that. I would probably buy one afterwards. I just need to get through this first. And then maybe in a couple months, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll get it now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but maybe there'll be another revision out or something where like they fix the kickstand.
Yeah, I'll be like,
I hope they make the AC
steel
adapter
kickstand
bigger.
on mine.
I hope they make the AC adapter bigger for blast processing. Nintendo adopted Sega's blast processing, and they need to make the AC adapter go to 11.
Yep.
Did you watch that King of Arcades movie?
Oh yeah, actually, I got your you had text about it earlier. It was actually premiered at the first SFGE, Southern Fried Game Room Expo, and Richie Knuckles and everybody was there. Billy Mitchell, Walter Day, all those guys were there to premiere it.
Did you watch it? Have you met Richie Knuckles? So did you watch the movie?
Yeah, totally.
You did watch it. Oh, you did. Oh,
I was at the premiere.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you actually went to the premiere to watch it, or if you just knew it was at the Southern Fried Game. What are your thoughts on that thing?
It kind of seemed like a sequel to like the King of Kong.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was okay. It was kind of one of those things where it was kind of like, let's do a video for Richie Knuckles. That's kind of what it seemed like, rather than like.
Yeah, that's what kind of stood out to me. I was like, okay, and going into it, you had mentioned this. You've mentioned Richie Knuckles before on the podcast, and I didn't know.
Seems like a really, really nice guy.
Seems super genuine and really cares about these things, and his work looks amazing. But like not knowing a lot about the guy going into it, I thought it was an interesting story. I enjoyed it. I just don't know if. Like, I'm glad I watched it, but, like, I would go watch King of Kong again, right? Or, I'd go rewatch those. Like, this one, I was like, okay, like, I know this guy's story. I see his work. I'm really glad I watched it, but I'm like, okay, that's cool.
I would watch anything video game related for documentaries. I'll watch anything. I will, literally. But so what are you getting to the same point? Basically, are you getting at the same point where it was kind of like not really necessary?
No, I think it was necessary. I thought it was a cool story. I think it was an hour and 40 minutes long. And like an hour in, I kind of got it. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, how much was left on this thing? I was like, 40 more minutes. What's...
Yeah. I think I remember that too, because I'm trying to remember. I think when that was premiered, I'm trying to remember. I see it's been it's been about 3 years. I don't know. I'm old. My memory doesn't work as well as it did when I was a young pup. But I think when they premiered it, it was late, and I think Billy Mitchell and Walter Day's planes were like delayed or something. And then like near the end of the game or end of the movie, I think Billy Mitchell and Walter Day showed up, but like I don't remember. I do remember afterwards, like, you know, when we talked to Richie Knuckles and all that stuff, quite a bit. He gave me a CD of his band, whatever, Knuckle Sandwich or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, because we were talking about he's a musician, and one of my buddies told him that I was a musician and stuff. So we had that talk and stuff, and I don't remember. I just remember it being long too. Whereas I think it was late that they premiered it, and it was cool. It was fun, but it was like one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm really tired. I really want to go to bed,
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I'm glad, again, like every kind of video game documentary, I'm glad that it exists. I think I went into it with a different expectation because it was like, I feel like it should have been called like King of Arcades, the Richie Knuckles story.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, but I thought there was going to be more about like, because there was interesting conversations in the movie where he kept saying like a lot of the games in this side of the arcade where he had more of a high end arcade that were more of like his real nice pieces. He's like, stuff over here, man, these machines are usually machines that records were set on, and like that was the kind of thing that I was like, okay, tell me more. I want to know about these machines. I want to know who set the record. What is the record? Who was it? And you can certainly find those things elsewhere, but I thought like it was going to pivot and like go into stories where like it would flash to someone else being like, oh yeah, you know what? I set the record on Richie Knuckles' machine at blah, 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 blah. And it was super great. And I thought there's going to be more backstory than that. And, that wasn't there, but that doesn't mean it's not good. My expectations were probably just different kind of going into it, but I thought it was great. I would tell anybody to go check it out if you haven't already.
It was cool. I liked it. I don't want to sound like I didn't like it. I love any documentary about video games, and Richie is genuinely a good guy, and I believe, and he's a buddy of like Billy and all those guys, and they're like, all right, let's prop this guy up,
For sure.
And I've seen Richie is a guy that is very active on KLOV as well. I've before I even saw the premiere of the movie or whatever, I always, I guess I had seen him on Clav or K-Love, however you mention it. So I thought it was cool. It was neat. I thought it was neat.
It was cool. Yeah, it was definitely cool. I also don't want to sound like I'm putting a damper on it. I mean, it was super cool, and
it was a little long-winded, but it was cool.
I was glad that I came across it, and it was something new to watch this weekend. I kind of just was like, oh, video game documentaries, and I actually had not seen that pop up before. Maybe you had mentioned it to me, but I didn't recall, and so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna take a look at what this is. So it was cool.
Funny. My favorite part, one of my favorite parts of that, he's like, there was something about like a Donkey Kong tournament or something. And it was the first time he ever met Billy Mitchell, and he's like,
I know who this guy was.
He's like, I don't know who the hell this was, or something like that, where he was like, in walks this
tall drink of water.
tall drink of water, some shit like that. Just the way he said it was just hilarious about Billy Mitchell.
There's a part too where he goes, it was at like the Kong off or whatever they called it. And it was like Kong off to when Billy Mitchell walked in and he was like, don't call it a fucking mullet. A mullet is a party in the front or business in the front and a party in the rear. His hair is all the same length. Billy Mitchell is all party. That part was so hilarious. I was dying. I was like, that's funny. That's some funny shit right there.
Billy Mitchell is all party. It's true.
That's so true. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, that was good. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. And like I said, I guess I was the world premiere. I was there. So I thought that was pretty funny when you texted me. A lot of times you'll text me and I'm like driving and I'm like, I can't text back because I'm just bad at texting and driving. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was good, man. I'm glad you got a chance to see that. I liked it. It really does seem like like a sequel to King of Kong. King of Kong always seemed like a sequel to Chasing Ghosts. Yeah. To me, like Chasing Ghosts was almost like a prequel to King of Kong. And I feel like King of Arcades is like the third one in that trilogy.
Certainly,
so,
yeah, it certainly feels so.
I hope they I hope they come out with more. There's an audience for that. There's a huge audience for that, I feel like.
Yeah, there really is.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. What else do we got here? I think I can't outdo the other stories with I'll leave some of those other stories.
I'm glad you went with the Chinese delivery story. That was hilarious, and it possibly got us in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how that one goes. I'm gonna cut out a couple words too.
Yeah, I feel like you should.
That are fun among the two of us in passing, but certainly not something I want out in the podcast. Just because there is one word that I do feel is disrespectful, so I'll cut that out of the podcast. The two instances. Although I'm hugely disrespectful, I do have a heart.
And it's black and tiny.
It certainly is. Yeah, that's about it. I did tweet out, this is completely random, but I'm still on I'm not going to watch any, I find like streamers that I like, oh, let me check this guy out. And then all of a sudden I see a DX racing chair. I will not watch anybody with a DX racing chair.
I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you.
It's one of them chairs that looks like a fucking racing seat that like you would put in a Honda Civic if you wanted it to look like your car was fast, but it's not. Like it's like an actual legitimate racing seat, but it's an office chair. And they're like super expensive, but it's like what every streamer buys to like say like, look at my racing seat, I'm legit.
Okay.
But it's just an office chair, and there's like way better office chairs for the money. I
see it.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're like,
that's lame.
And like most good streamers don't actually even show their chair in the stream, right? So anytime you see it, it's like, look at my magenta racing.
It looks like a freaking office chair.
Yeah, it's stupid. And then the other thing is when I see people that have RE20 Electro Voice microphones. I'm actually speaking on an Electro Voice microphone right now. It's RE320. I love it. But the RE20 is a $450 microphone. It's an amazing microphone, but it's a broadcast mic, for broadcasters. And once you compress the shit out of the sound and stream it through the internet, your RE20 doesn't sound any different. Like, literally, the RE320 is probably the best out-of-the-box microphone you're going to find. And just every time I see, like, an RE20, I'm like, yo, dog, you don't even know how to tune that thing to your voice. Like, you just have it out there to be like, look at my DX racing chair and my RE20. I don't know why it bothers me so much. It's just like, spending $400 on your microphone doesn't legitimize you as a streamer.
It legitimizes you as a 1%er.
Oh. God.
I like that. I like that anger.
I needed to. Well, I just wanted to get it all off my chest in one podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even that. I'm like, and most people are like, well, then don't fucking watch it. And I'm like, you don't understand. Things bother me.
It's Mike we're talking about here.
So I told you this. I tweeted it out, but I often get like these little fits of anger, and I kind of do comedy around it. I rearranged my basement so I can actually rehearse some comedy, and I tried that out this morning when I got home. Carrie and the baby left the house to go to her parents to do some stuff, so I was like, oh, I've got some time here. And I went down in the basement with my new little setup and plugged in and hollered about some stuff and started to rehearse a little bit of a new comedy routine, because I like to do comedy while standing, and then listen to it back. And I got a little work to do. But
you should start with that. You should start with that impression that you did earlier today.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to break that impression out again. I mean, I got to leave that in the podcast because it's part of the story, but I'm a little...
You must, you definitely have to go back and record that next week. You have to promise me you're going to do that.
I'll try to order again, because it is hilarious, because it's.
I have to hear this. I'm dying to hear this.
It's literally stereotypical, and I know someone's going to be like, "You're making fun of how they talk," and I'm like, or how this person talks. I'm like, I know, but people make fun of how people talk all the time. It's not. I mean, it's funny. It's funny to me. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not. It's like clockwork, and they always say the same thing to me, and it just happens that he has a really high pitched, stereotypical tone to his voice, and it cracks me up. I can't put it any other way than that. It cracks me up every time I hear it.
That's the best.
So, and
maybe he listens to our podcast.
Well, he would think it's funny. I bet. I bet he would think it's funny. He's a cool guy. I've actually went in and picked stuff up from him too, and like, it's nice.
He'd probably be like, "Oh, he's a good customer."
I bet you when I walk out, he's probably like, "Who am I? I'll take 3 chicken wontons." When I walk out, he's probably does like a white person impression.
Yeah, totally.
Can you give me some of that extra soy sauce? Yeah, probably like I walk out. I'm sure he's firing off white people impressions behind my back. So it'd be a fun time if me and him like went and had a beer together and we just did impressions of each other.
You should do that.
He'd be like, "Who am I?"
You should record that. I want that to be episode 69.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Who am I? What's with this Nintendo Switch AC adapter?"
It's like, "You like Jerry Seinfeld?
What's the deal?"
You look like it. By the way,
and I'd be like, "You're like you're like Jackie Chan."
Context for that is my mom used to always say that Mike looked like Jerry Seinfeld when he was younger, and she used to always ask, "How's Mike? Have you talked to him lately?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I talk to him all the time." And she'd be like, "Does he still look like Jerry Seinfeld?"
I did look like Jerry Seinfeld when I was a kid. I had the hair and everything.
You should put the picture up on Twitter.
I'll find it. It's actually hanging on the wall at my parents' house.
Really?
Yeah. Are you thinking of the same one where I am, where I had like a teal, white, and purple horizontally striped shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hanging on the wall at my parents'.
Right next to a picture of Jerry Seinfeld.
Close. I've got like a high comb top comb over going on. Like I literally look like Jerry Seinfeld. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, like some skrill in the back.
Yeah, I had the back Jerry skrill. It was all natural. I didn't have to use any Soul Glow to get that kind of skrill.
Back in the good old days, right?
The skrill came with my white ass. We're just all over the board. I can't wait for the hate mail on this one.
I know, right? We love you all if you're still listening.
The internet.
Thank you.
The internet. Thank you, internet.
Indeed.
Thank you for listening, internet.
Giving us a place to sound like idiots.
Thank you for letting me make borderline racist impressions online, but try to justify it by saying that my best friend's wife and kid are also part Asian. So it's okay.
Yo.
And since he's not offended, then no one should be offended.
I don't know if it works that way, but
it doesn't. It doesn't. It's gonna be all bad. It's gonna be all bad.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear what you all have to say about this.
Anybody that is offended probably wears blue lensed sunglasses.
Oh my God. You were, by the way, you seem like totally perplexed by that.
I had no idea what you were talking about.
I was, for context on that, I was telling Mike about this. Like, it drives me nuts, and I'm sorry. I'm sure there are a few of you out there that listen to the podcast that also wear these. I can't stand blue lens glasses that people wear as their like normal glasses. I can't stand it. I don't know why. It drives me nuts. And I found this picture like to illustrate to Mike like what I was talking about, because he's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I was like, that's completely random.
You're like, that's completely random. I was like, no, it's not. I don't know why it's not, but I don't know. Well,
then I found a picture. Then the next morning I Googled it and I found a picture of what's his name from the Who.
Roger Daltrey.
Yeah, Roger Daltrey. I sent that to you, and you're like, I'm dead.
I was like, I was like, I should have swung around and punched him in the nuts when I saw him like last year, whenever that was, when he was standing right behind me.
Yeah, he's standing behind you out in the yeah. You should have said something.
I feel like I should have just snatched him off his face and threw him on the ground and stepped on him and been like, "What are you doing?" And he'd be like, "I can't see without those."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "I'm sorry. Well, you can't see. I can't see you with them."
Yeah. God, I'm having huge regrets about that Chinese delivery story.
I thought it was funny.
I'm leaving it in.
Yeah, it was funny. I thought.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't have anything. I'm probably
going to listen to that tomorrow.
Oh, I'm going to listen to it tonight.
I like it too, because you're like, we were talking about this before, like this week, where I was like, we're just ourselves now. Like, if you listen to some of the first couple episodes and stuff, we're just trying to find our groove and find like our voice and stuff. And then there's just a certain point in like when you get used to podcasting, then it's just like, this is my voice. This is exactly how I talk or whatever. And we've been there for a long time, but it's funny when you did that, like, it's exactly like how you would, that's exactly how you, because sometimes you're
apparently I'm an extremely racist, short, bald, chubby white man.
Well, that's not necessarily where I was going with that, but, if you say so.
Well, that's where the internet's going to go with it. God damn it.
Anyway, I totally lost my train of thought. So
no, that's like if literally we were on the phone, I would actually tell the story exactly like that.
Because sometimes, like, you try, like, before, like, a couple of years ago, like, you were like, this is, if I was going to have a comedy routine, I was like, retell that story as if you were telling a comedy routine, and then it totally wasn't funny.
It would never work, right? Yeah, I know. But now I just do whatever.
Flow. That was a triumph, people.
It was a triumph.
That wasn't like a personal triumph. That was not like
you've now seen the real me.
Yep.
You've seen the real us.
Oh no,
You've seen the real Augusta, Georgia.
Yeah, I wouldn't say us, but you've seen the real Mike.
You son of a bitch.
I didn't say anything during that whole segment.
I know you were just cracking up and like, oh boy, is he going to keep going? Because
uncomfortably, I was like, holy, oh no.
if I don't say anything, he's just going to keep going. Maybe he's going to notice I'm not saying anything and dial it back. Nope, he just turned it to 11. Wow.
I'm like, when I'm like running for president in like a couple of years, now I'm eligible to be, now I'm 35. I've got all the requirements. I can be president too. And someday they're going to dig this up and be like, that's really offensive.
It's really not.
And I'll be like, our current president was talking about grabbing vaginas or pussies, as he put it.
It's really not that offensive.
And he became the president. I don't know. I feel like I could be president even with this conversation that we had today.
All right, so it wasn't that bad. relative.
Well, it doesn't
I mean,
matter.
I'm a bad hombre.
Apparently.
I mean, it got big. I'm a bad hombre, and it got bigly for a while. You know.
I got somebody grab my pussy. They're gonna put that on there too.
Ah, it's all in there.
Oh, it's gonna be great. They're gonna take it out of context.
There's no way to take that out of context.
They're gonna, yeah, I don't know. You're right. I think we're secure as far as that goes. So anyway,
all righty.
All right. Well, I have to say, enjoy your Switch. I'm excited to hear about it next Sunday.
Oh, I'm also going to make sure when I get it, I am going to send 9 million pictures of it to Adrian Peterson. I'm gonna beat one. I'm gonna beat.
You're just gonna
one,
get drunk and troll the shit out of him.
I'm gonna beat one Switch with the other Switch, and I'm gonna be like, I'm switching the Switch. You jealous, AP? And then like I'll maybe take a picture of like Violet climbing on the Switch, and I'll be like, my kid's getting revenge over the Switch.
I love it.
We won't let your switching define us.
I have that to say too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for the RetroGameFix.com Retro Jones podcast, this is one number 108. I guess 108. This is Mitch. All right. We'll see you next week.
See ya.